Hey guys, what's happening? It's Nate from PlayYourCourt.com. Today we're talking about how to hit a backhand volley. All right, backhand volleys, guys. A lot of times with the backhand volley, we struggle because of the wrong grip and poor joint position. Those are going to be the two takeaways for today. All right, and the backhand volley is tough. It's also one of the most difficult things to teach. If you ask most teaching pros what they really struggle to communicate with the student, it's the backhand volley. I'm going to show you a couple ways in which you can learn the backhand volley today. All right, the most important thing with the backhand volley is making sure you have a continental grip. All right, remember this is the shake hands grip. The web of the hand, the web of the hand is straight over the first bevel, okay? If you're doing this right as I choke up, remember the butt cap, right, will come back to your wrist. If it's off-centered, right, you're in the wrong grip. If you have a frying pan grip, and a lot of players do, especially when they're starting out, it's going to be almost impossible to get anything that feels even remotely normal on your backhand. And what ends up happening, we see players adopt two hands so that this left hand can get involved and play through, which is fine to some degree, but the problem is you lose your length and you lose your ability for feel and really playing through finesse. And a lot of times we see the kind of lacrosse volley. And this is fine. Even advanced players do it if you're right on top of the net to push the ball down, but that's not what we want to be doing as we're transitioning. So let's talk about the right way. Now that I've got the continental grip and I'm in my ready position, and you'll notice the ready position lists to the non-dominant side. As a righty, it's off to my left. I'm not here, all right? This is gonna make it more difficult to get to my backhand volley, which makes up almost 70% of my body. It also will help me get to my forehand grip without my elbow going crazy trying to get back. All right, I'll show you that again. You can tell they look very different. From here, I'm simply turning the racket out, all right? And from here, what ends up happening is a lot of times I pull my elbow away and the racket ends up behind me. All right, so on to the backhand now. So I'm in this position, and what's important here is this L. Hand up on the throat, my elbow is in that bent position. And from here, what I'm going to do is focus on the hips, all right? From the hips, I'm gonna give it a slight turn, and from here, I'll be in the loaded position. I'll back up so you can see my feet making that move. So from that ready position, I'm gonna turn with my hips, and you can see I'm just pivoting with my left toe to get in the correct position. All right, this is all I need. And one of the most critical mistakes on the backhand is we see players turning and getting completely sideways where the racket's behind them in a weak position, all right? Or they're taking their foot and stepping across, right? And also leading to the racket in a poor position. Okay, so now that we understand what the first move is, from that move, this is the important part. I want the racket and the arm to operate as a unit, one moving piece, okay? So I don't want a lot of wrist in this particular shot. And I think probably the single biggest culprit for poor backhands, and this is one of the things we're talking about with the joint position that we were gonna discuss, it's very important to note here, the racket is towards me. You can see my wrist is locked out with the way the racket is being played. Like I don't necessarily need this tension, but that's the position my wrist needs to be in. If my wrist deviates to where it curls, and this is what a lot of players suffer from, they have a continental grip, but the wrist is curling towards them, all right, if you can see that. And what ends up happening is when they move to the ball, the strings are straight open, or facing the ceiling. So from here, the ball is going up, and they're like, yeah, it's cool, man, I'm getting all this slice, but I can't control it, and it's crazy, right? In the backhand volley, we want precision. So when we get this correct joint position, from here, as I load out on that outside foot, now I'm gonna drive the butt cap down towards the floor at a 45 in front. And you can see this little movement is all I need. All right, if the ball is coming relatively fast, it may just be this. All right, if I'm transitioning in, then I may load up more. You can see my arm is up. We've talked about that in other videos. that, and this is the cousin of the slice backhand ground stroke. All right, so if the ball was to bounce, I would load my arm up, and I can do this on the volley as well. Volley meaning I'm taking it in the air. From here, I load, and then I'm working toward it. So in a transition, it'll give me a little bit more punch. Otherwise, I can keep it right out in front. All right, now that I have the correct joint position, I know where the wrist should be located, I know the first move with the pivot, I can practice this by working through these little bounces to myself. And there, where you see I went under it, I'm incorrect, right? Like I'm too far under the ball, I'm decapitating the ball. So now what I want to do is I want to work the ball out, right? Out. And you see I'm catching it out in front of me. I'm working the racket this way, okay? All right, and this is a really cool way to practice volleys off the wall, right? Like if you're off the wall and you're trying to work with your backhand and it's going up and then dropping towards the bottom of the ball, you know that you're way too open and you're probably making this mistake with the wrist. All right, guys, really hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope it was helpful. Get out there, give it a go, practice it. And this is, you know, although a lot of us are still at home working on our games, it's just a perfect time to learn new habits, and that's improving that backhand volley that gives a lot of us just so many problems. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. If you never want to miss a Play Your Court video, hit subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.